Two people who disagree, the same evidence, and they both walk away more sure they were right. That actually happened in a real experiment. I'll tell you exactly how in a minute, but first, sit with how strange that is. Evidence is supposed to pull us together. Give two people the same facts, and they should end up somewhere near the same place. Instead, the facts pushed them apart. This isn't about them being stupid. It's about something your brain is doing right now. In this sentence, whether you want it to or not. By the end of this, you'll understand why your brain treats agreement like a reward and disagreement like a threat. You'll see the exact mechanism behind it, and I'll show you the one habit that actually weakens it. I'll also show you the most unsettling part. The reason being smart doesn't protect you from this. It can make it worse. Keep that in the back of your mind. We're coming back to it. Here's the core idea. We like to picture the mind as a scientist, calm, neutral, weighing the evidence and following it wherever it leads. It's not a scientist, it's a lawyer. A scientist asks, "What's true?" A lawyer asks, "How do I win?" And most of the time, your brain is the lawyer. The psychologist Jonathan Haidt describes it like this. Your gut reaches a verdict first. Then your reasoning shows up, like a press secretary, not to find the truth, but to defend the boss. So when new information walks in, your brain doesn't really ask, "Is this correct?" It quietly asks one of two questions. If the information agrees with you, it asks, "Can I believe this?" And the answer is almost always yes. If it disagrees with you, it asks, "Must I believe this?" And then it goes hunting for reasons the answer is no. Same evidence, two completely different standards. That gap has a name, confirmation bias. And a psychologist named Peter Wason first pinned it down back in the 1960s. Quick gut check. Think of the last argument you were sure you won. Did you actually change your mind on a single point? Or did you just get better at defending the one you started with? Hold that thought. It's going to matter. Wason gave people a simple number puzzle. He'd show them a short sequence and ask them to figure out the hidden rule by testing their own guesses. Almost everyone did the same thing. They came up with a theory, and then they only tested examples that would prove it right. Hardly anyone tried to prove themselves wrong, and that's the whole bias in one move. We go looking for yeses. We don't go looking for no's. Now back to those two people from the start. In 1979, three researchers, Lord, Ross, and Lepper, ran that study. They found people with strong opposite views on the death penalty, supporters on one side, opponents on the other. Then they handed everyone the same packet of research. Some studies suggested the death penalty deterred crime. Some suggested it didn't. A genuinely mixed bag. You'd think mixed evidence would make everyone a little less certain. The opposite happened. Each side grabbed the studies that agreed with them and called them rock solid. Then they tore apart the studies that disagreed, poking at the methods, the sample sizes, anything they could find. Same packet of paper, and both groups walked out more extreme than when they walked in. The researchers called it biased assimilation. The evidence didn't inform these people. It armed them. It gets more specific. In 2006, two political scientists, Charles Tabor and Milton Lodge, measured what people actually do with an argument they disagree with. Turns out, we spend more time on it. Not to understand it, to counter-argue it. We sit there quietly building rebuttals. Agreeable information gets waved right through. Disagreeable information gets interrogated. Your mind runs security like an airport that only searches the passengers it already doesn't like. So far, this is all about how your brain fights evidence out in the world, in an argument, when someone's pushing back. But the strangest part happens inside your own head, when no one is arguing with you at all. Let's go there. Think about where you actually get your information. Your feed, your favorite channels, the people you follow. You built that. And you built it, mostly, out of things that already agree with you. Psychologists call this selective exposure. A large review of the research in 2009 found people are consistently more likely to choose information that confirms what they already believe over information that challenges it. Not overwhelmingly, but reliably. Given the choice, we reach for the comfortable option roughly twice as often as the uncomfortable one. So it's not just that your brain defends your beliefs when they're attacked. It quietly arranges your whole world so they rarely get attacked in the first place. You're not living in reality. You're living in a version of it that's been pre-approved. And it's not just politics. It's when you Google your symptoms and stop scrolling at the result that isn't scary. It's when you size up a job candidate in the first 10 seconds, then spend the whole interview collecting reasons you were right. It's when you read your partner's one-line text and hear exactly the tone you were already braced for. So what do you do about it? You can't delete confirmation bias. It's not a bug you patch out. But there is one move with real evidence behind it, and it's almost annoyingly simple. Consider the opposite. When you catch yourself feeling sure about something, stop and genuinely ask, what would make this wrong? If I had to argue the other side, what's the strongest case? Not a straw man version you can knock over. The best version. In the 1980s, researchers tested exactly that. When people were nudged to consider the opposite, their bias measurably shrank. And notice what the trick is not. It's not try harder to be fair. Ask anyone at their most stubborn. They'll swear they're already being fair. The trick is aiming your mind at the counter evidence on purpose. Because it will never, ever volunteer to go there on its own. Now, the part I told you to hold on to. You might be thinking, okay, but I'm a fairly rational person. I can think my way past this. Here's the problem. That might make it worse. A researcher named Dan Kahan gave people a tricky data problem. When the numbers were about something neutral, like whether a skin cream worked, the people who were good at math got the right answer more often. No surprise there. Then he ran the same math problem. But this time, he made it about a hot-button political issue. And the smart, numerate people didn't do better. On the emotional topic, the sharper someone's math skills, the more likely they were to twist the numbers to fit their own side. Read that again. Being good at reasoning didn't set them free. It handed them better tools to fool themselves. A better lawyer just builds a better case for whatever the client already wanted. So the person most confident they're immune to this? Statistically, that's often the person doing it most skillfully, including sometimes you, including sometimes me. One honest caveat, because this channel doesn't run on hype. You've maybe heard that showing people facts just makes them dig in harder, the so-called backfire effect. The real story is softer than the internet version. When it was first proposed, it looked dramatic, but later, larger studies mostly failed to reproduce it. Facts usually don't make people worse. They just move people far less than we'd hope. So the honest takeaway isn't evidence backfires, it's this. Evidence is weaker than your loyalties, and you rarely notice which one is steering. So here's where we land. Your brain didn't evolve to be right. It evolved to defend. Your side, yourself, your story. Confirmation bias isn't a flaw in the system. In a lot of ways, it is the system. You'll never fully switch it off, but you can catch it. The next time you feel that warm little click of, I knew it, treat that feeling as a signal, not a trophy. That's the exact moment to ask the one question your brain skips on its own. What if I'm wrong? This video's title says your brain only hears what it already believes. That's not quite true. And now you know why it feels true, and where the crack is that lets a little more reality in. If you want to keep finding the hidden machinery running your mind, subscribe. This channel is a running tour of the glitches in human thinking.